A few weeks ago, we spoke quite a bit about erosion and how forces like gravity, through wind, water, glacial movement can cause erosion to occur, moving soil particles and rocks to help form new kind of landforms. But I want to focus today specifically on soil erosion for a few reasons. Soil erosion is the washing away of the first couple layers of soil. Remember, we looked at soil profiles earlier. Due to water and wind movement across the surface of the land. And it's important because we humans, well, we're kind of causing it to happen at a much faster rate than would probably normally occur through practices like agriculture, as well as mining and construction by removing layers of vegetation that would normally hold soil in place when water and wind came. So wind erosion, I'm sure you've seen photos like that from the Dust Bowl. And let's learn a little bit more about
Each
that.
year, billions of tons of soil are lost in the United States through soil erosion. Erosion reduces soil productivity and deteriorates the quality of our soil and water. The resulting sediment causes stream pollution and reduces the capacity of our reservoirs. Erosion removes the topsoil first, eventually exposing the less productive subsoil beneath.
So this is bad, obviously, because we need those organic material in the soil in order to help retain soil fertility. And also because once that soil washes away, well, there's not much you can do about it. It takes long time to reform. So once we lose that soil through soil erosion, we're not going to get back anytime soon. Let's take a better look at about how wind and water, once we've exposed that soil, is eroded.
Insignificant, but they strike the ground with amazing force. Rain can pound the ground at speeds of up to 30 miles an hour. An intense storm on bare soil can loosen and detach up to 100 tons of soil per acre. Wind erosion occurs as the wind picks up and moves small particles of soil. As wind speeds increase, the amount of soil picked up on a bare field may easily double or even triple. For instance, if a 20-mile-per-hour wind increases to 30 miles per hour, the rate of erosion triples. There are three distinct types of wind erosion: creep, saltation, and suspension. Laboratory studies have shown that more than half of all soil eroded by wind is moved by saltation, with the remainder about equally divided between suspension and surface creep. Wind erosion typically begins at ground level, as the wind causes soil particles to roll or creep over the ground. Particles roll or slide in almost continuous contact with the soil surface. Creep erosion is an extremely slow process and difficult to see without a lot of time and measurements. Wind moving soil particles in a hopping or bouncing fashion is called saltation. With each bounce, the grains typically reach heights of less than 2 inches above the surface and move horizontally about 2 to 4 inches. The impact of the particles falling back to earth dislodges additional soil that is sent in the downwind direction.
So obviously, when the winds come and pick up that soil, we see it as particulates in the air, which isn't great for our health. But that continuous movement uh, of the wind and of the water to that exposed soil makes the risk of exposing, the less productive layers of soil, which make it less available for agriculture. Let's take a look at actually how that works. So, why soil vegetation removal?
Soil erosion. It is a fact of nature and has been around for centuries. It occurs in cities and towns, farm fields, and forests. Is anything being done to protect the environment? Does anyone practice soil conservation?
We'll talk about
Farmers
soil.
do,
Whoops.
and it's really easy. By planting grass filter strips at the bottom of hills, by keeping last year's crop residue, which is the leftover part of the plant after harvest, on the field surface. In fact, many farmers will plant into the crop residue without plowing or disturbing the field at all. Some farmers use structures to catch excess runoff and get it off of the soil surface.
So we're learning from our mistakes, right? I mean, who cares more about the health of the soil than the people whose lives depend upon it, like agriculturalists? But it certainly took a lot of soil erosion before we realized we needed to preserve this natural resource. Let's take a look at this experiment. You might have seen this before at school even.
Let's see what happens when it rains.
So we've got soil.
As we pour water over the grass and soil, the grass acts as a filter for the water and a protective cover for the soil underneath. As we pour water over the corn stalks and soil, the corn residue acts in the same way. As we pour water over the bare soil, you see without any protection, the water erodes away the soil dramatically.
So lots of research has been going into best ways to sort of manage the land to prevent erosion caused by farming. Let's look at a couple of other techniques. Construction. You've probably seen sites that look a little bit like this. When new homes and buildings are being built through just human development and civilization, we often clear the land. And in doing so, you remove the vegetation, allowing it to be impacted by the flow of water through precipitation as well as the wind. Lots of grading, lots of changing the topography of an area can also affect the rate of soil erosion. As you saw in your lab, slope has a big amount of influence on the direction of soil and soil runoff. Finally, mining. We mine a lot of different types of resources, both from deep inside the earth, bringing up and disturbing the soil profile, but also from along the sides of mountains and grounds. And as we cut into the ground, obviously, we increase slope, and that can increase runoff as well as the removal of vegetation. So lots of human practices are contributing to the rate of soil erosion. But it's certainly something that is being recognized as a natural resource that isn't quickly renewable. And so we're going to be looking at different ways to conserve soil and prevent it through at least our own actions from disappearing.